Oh, hey guys, didn't see you. I'm sorry, I was just casually playing a bass drum around my neighborhood at 6 in the morning. Anyways, if you guys have ever met somebody who does band, I'm sure this one phrase from American Pie will pop up in your head. Yeah, at the state finals, I got myself a buzzer beater and won the whole game. Probably the coolest moment of my life, to be honest. That's nothing. It's one time at band camp. And repeat that 20 times an hour, and you get the point. So with all being said, I thought I might clear up what the hell this mystical experience of marching band is like from your first day to the last day at Nationals. So after either joining as a bet, because your family threatened you with death if you didn't come, or if you simply wanted to, for some reason, you're now there. Now, if you're a drumline guy like me, you show up into a large, echoey room with a bunch of upperclassmen. You find yourself huddled with any new guys that you can find, while the veterans are screaming and smashing the whole class in pieces, when a 20-something-year-old drumline instructor drags you into the drum closet. Now, at this point, if you're sensible and like me, you're probably thinking, what in the hell am I doing here? Nonetheless, you keep walking into the room, and then you realize, oh yeah, I never held a drumstick before in my life. And at that point, you're probably paralyzed in the doorway, until the instructor, who we will refer to as Will, looks at you like a weirdo, and you're forced to move forward. So as you walk in, he asks you to grip the stick and start hitting the snare drum. So after swallowing your pride and wishing that you brought your Xanax that particular day, you go up and start playing. Now you think you're doing pretty good, and you're thinking that everyone who told you that drumline was hard was being totally stupid, but then you realize that you can't read anything past the quarter notes. So after that little audition, I put on to bass drum, and I'm thinking it's going to be a good season. The music is fun, and it'll be a good ride. Oh boy, how I was wrong. Okay, so let's get some stuff out of the way really quick. 1. The bass drum can and will destroy your back over time. There is a reason why there's braces on your harnesses. 2. You know, as big as those things are, you won't think they're fragile as hell. I mean, I think when he managed to break 4 bass drum rims in a whole season, that isn't so great. 3. Harnesses are total poop. Nothing else for me to say. So with that boring stuff out of the way, let's talk about the main event, shall we? Band camp! So how the hell do I sum up band camp? Okay, it's basically a blend of a fun buying experience with friends and literal hell on earth. So imagine this. You're on a field for 7 hours in the dead heat of August. While it's 90 degrees outside, you forget your sunscreen, and decide to wear full black. Not to mention, you forgot your water bottle. Some things that occur because of these terrible choices include sunburn at every single band camp, empty water coolers, see the 14 coolers that need to be refilled on the first day this year, and passing out from the heat. Yes, that happened last year. And the worst part of all, swamp ass. However, despite the inclusion of swamp ass, get a fun time in general. Whether it's laughing at the one kid who dressed up as a Green Day member for Edgy Teen Day, having some fun chats with a random trumpet player I barely know, or even doing the unthinkable, talking to a guard member, you can have a hell of a time there. And you know what? At that point, you think you're doing pretty good. You got your music down from movement 1 to 3, and you can't wait to see what happens. But all of a sudden, you get a New Jersey competition! So yeah, you got a bunch of new buds from band, you think the upperclassmen like you. Then the week before the first competition comes, oh boy, things change. In the span of a week and 2 practices, you gotta cram a whole new section of music into your brain, have it memorized, have all the new marching form memorized, and then somehow try to balance it with what kind of life you can have as a marching band person. Yeah, I'll give you a spoiler, it's not as fun as Mr. Moore's classes. Anyways, after that week is done, and after a dozen or so glares of seniors that could kill, I'll give your first competition. So on the bus ride to your first competition, you try and have some fun beforehand, and when you get off and you realize, oh yeah, I didn't practice at all, and then you end up going on the field and you didn't play a note, like I did for my first 3 competitions and most of my first season. But after those depressing 10 minutes, you walk out the field, get some food, hang out with your buds, and try to ignore the seniors glaring at you until awards is over. Now you repeat the cycle of just complete depression by not playing your music for a good month or so, until you get progressively more pissed and sad until you finally get your music down. There's still depression involved with the whole thing, but a little less. Well folks, it's time. It's been 7 months, but now we're finally at Nationals. You get on the bus to the stadium, you get ready to blast Africa by Toto for 4 hours, prepare to annoy Mileski the whole time, and you finally show up at the hotel at 10 o'clock at night. Now, before we call it a night, we head out to the lobby for an hour or so and just have a lot of fun and try and be bigger idiots than we usually are. About that time, you start realizing, hey, this competition can actually be okay. So you call it a night, watch Luca exercise for 20 minutes inside of his bedroom for some reason, go to sleep, wake up, and grab some breakfast. So after breakfast, we drive to the stadium and we got to see some of the band performs, and I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty damn good. While they perform, though, we either talk about how we're better than them, how we're worse than them, or we just videotape them and forget to ever check those videos out ever again. Anyways, we go to do one last practice where we head to the hotel, and even though you're feeling like it's gonna be crappy, it's pretty good actually. It's not a half bad practice, and you feel like you're actually close to having fun. The seniors are back to showing the same affection they showed the first week. Everyone's talking like they've known each other for ages, and you actually feel proud of the work you did. We do one last run of the show, we go to the buses, go to the hotel, and we do senior speeches. Now, I'm a manly man, but I'll admit, I shed a tear or two. It was a happy and somber moment, and then it hit you. Season's over. You've had plenty of ups and plenty of downs, but you really feel sad it's gonna be over. So with that in mind, you go to sleep and get ready for one last show. You do that show, and afterwards, all that stress is just lifted off your shoulders. You can just be a kid. You and your friends start watching the shows, see your score, see how well you did. You hug the seniors goodbye, and you go home. And then you enter the drum closet one last time to sign your name. When you sign it, you're done. You go home, you go into bed, and as you try and go to sleep, you realize, damn, I got homework. The end!